let us start the session. So I see some couple of uh, new people over here, new names over here. So firstly, let me just introduce myself. This is Naveen, and I have overall 9.3 years of experience, and I have been working as the AI specialist. So earlier for around 6 years, I have been working as an ML engineer, and then from when generative AI has come up, right? So in 2022 at the end, from 2023, I have started working on those generative AI pre-trained models itself. And so, as I said, 9.3 years of experience I'm currently holding, and currently I'm working in a product-based company, a banking company, and teaching generative AI is one of the part-time things that I usually do, right? So because I'm very much interested in teaching, so that is all about myself. And also just to tell you about this coaching, I have trained around 300 plus students on generative AI, and around 8 to 9 batches I have taken, and 3 batches corporate level trainings I have given. So this is about myself, and I'll be your trainer for generative AI. All right. Yeah. So to those who did not attend our classes yesterday, so this is a brief introduction about myself. Okay, so let us have a discussion on this particular course and how we are going to move forward, and how finally you will get a complete idea on generative AI and how you can apply for the jobs. So what kind of knowledge you will be getting after attending this particular course. Okay, so that is the thing. And people who have attended yesterday's session, right? So I just introduced you on what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, right? What is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is deep learning, and what is generative AI. And of course, I think a definition of agentic AI as well. Okay, so kindly go through that recording, yesterday's recording, and whatever the session we are having currently, it is the last demo session. From tomorrow onwards, the link will change and the batch will start. Okay, so those who are interested in this course, right, kindly make your payments by tomorrow, so that admin will provide you the Zoom link so that you can directly attend the regular sessions from tomorrow onwards. The timing is 9 p.m. IST, Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. And then just to tell you, so this course duration is 3.5 plus months. Okay, 3.5 plus months. So so it will be like the previous batches and all, they got completed in 3.5 months. But this time we would like to add certain few other topics where the interviewers also going out of range. Okay, so I mean, whatever we are expecting, apart from that, people are going out of the syllabus and asking some of the questions. So we have tried to add them as well. So that is the reason 3.5 plus months. And as I said, so every day at 9 p.m. the class will start, and so 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. will be the class. And uh, in order to continue the class, I mean, if there is certain concept which requires a continuation, right, what we will do is that we will extend this particular class by 15 minutes or 20 minutes, which we will be telling you beforehand. Okay, so this is about the class, and it is 9 p.m. IST. Okay, so certain people yesterday have asked that is there a morning batch that is going to start soon? No, currently we are already having the morning batch, and we are about to complete that maybe in 1 month or so. So again, the next morning batch will be starting probably in the December ending or third week or something like that. Okay. So currently from my side, as I'm being the trainer for this particular course, so we will have only the evening batch 9 p.m. IST. All right. So this is about the course, that information and all. So yesterday we have seen about artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. So let us just have a recap of this. Okay. So I won't spend much time on this. Let us go through the course curriculum, and I mean, in detail. Let us go through the course curriculum and understand how you are going to learn the concept. Okay. So firstly, artificial intelligence. So AI is any technique that enables machines to mimic human intelligence. Okay, or perform tasks in a smart way. So these are simple definitions of artificial intelligence. All right. And machine learning allows machines to learn from data, identify patterns, and make decisions with minimal human intervention. So just like the employee salary, I mean employee experience and employee salary. Okay, employee salary. So your algorithm needs to find the relationship between the this independent variable and the dependent variable. So if it finds a better relation, so if a new hire, so you would like to recruit a new person into your company, right? So let us say some 8.3 years of experience that person is having. So your model will be directly saying that you give some 13 LPA or let us say some 23 LPA, 30 LPA, something like that. Okay. So based on the previous whatever the data you're having. So your model will be learning from the data and identify the patterns. So the relationship between the employee experience and employee salary. And finally, it creates that graph internally. So once the model is trained well, it will be perfectly predicting the new person's salary without much human intervention. All right. So that is nothing but machine learning. It is all about data. All right. And then deep learning, we have seen what deep learning is all about yesterday, right? So kindly go through the previous recording, I mean yesterday's recording, you'll get some good idea on this. So deep learning is a foundation of generative AI, as you can see over here. So deep learning is the foundation of generative AI. So whatever the LMs you are going to consider, okay, let's say some chat GPT application, we have some 3 to 4 LLMs, right? GPT-4o. LLM means large language model. Okay. GPT-4o, GPT-4, GPT-5, something like that. These are all your LLMs, large language models. All right. So if you take up any, I mean any LLM's architecture, internally it will have a deep learning neural network. Okay. So that important is this particular concept. Of course, for a generative AI engineer, if you ask me directly, face to face, is deep learning is much required for generative AI to perform the job and all? I would say it is not required. Okay, but so this is a one time learning. Okay, one time learning, you just learn it once, and throughout your life you need not to look at the syllabus once again, because you will be understanding everything what internally this particular LLMs will be having, how the architecture looks like, and how the neural networks pass information from one layer to the other, right? How these calculations, how ChatGPT is able to give any answer to your question. So to understand those kind of in detailed answers, it is always better to have thorough knowledge on deep learning. However, it is not required for doing a job as a generative AI engineer, because generative AI engineer is someone who concentrates more on these LLMs, okay, or pre-trained models, small models, pre-trained models, or fine tuning of LLMs, fine tuning of LLMs, okay, or creating applications of LLMs using LangChain, LangSmith, or LangGraph, right? And building RAG type of applications. So this is most common, fine tuning and RAG kind of applications. So these are most common in your being a generative AI engineer, right? So LLM pre-trained. So this kind of work is what you usually do. So nowadays we will be doing the prompt engineering as well for a model, okay, for an application, how it should consider the question, how. So if you're asking what is deep learning to chat gpt, internally it will create its own prompt, okay. So the user is asking about deep learning, so he is asking in a concise manner, and you keep this as 300 words or 400 words. So do not you keep the answer as professional as possible, do not keep it friendly. So something like that, the prompt will be created internally. So that is nothing but prompt engineering, okay. I mean in depth what will happen. So these kind of jobs also people are doing nowadays, right? But deep learning is important, but this is a one time thing. So you just learn it once and do not again revisit the syllabus again, because it is waste of time for you. Okay, so whatever you learn this, right, you keep in your mind and this knowledge will be carried forward. Okay, so you will understand what is internally happening in large language models, what architecture it is having, what transformers, so what are transformers, what is this neural networks, so Adam optimizer, overfitting, underfitting, training, testing, validation tests. So something like that you will get very good understanding on deep learning itself. So but if you want to become a deep learning engineer, right, of course a thorough knowledge on deep learning is required. So we will be having a very, very good knowledge. I mean, thorough knowledge on deep learning as well. So some 12 to 15 hours I'll be explaining on deep learning itself. And then, so if you ask me this 3.5 months, right, how many number of hours it might come. So this is also one frequently asked question. It will be like some 100 plus hours. Okay, 100 plus hours this entire course is. Okay, and the course we have uh, articulated in such a way that usually it will be, I mean, if any other faculty explains this syllabus, right, it might take some 130 or 140 of hours, but we have kept it to 100 plus hours. Why? Because you'll understand we have kept some beautiful animations or mind maps, so which can make your understanding easy, very easy. Okay, so that is the reason I need not to explain the concept again and again and again, so that confusion will be avoided. So when we show you certain animations that, so this course, whatever the PPTs that I'm having, right, so they will have lots of animations. Okay, I'll show you at the end of this course. Okay, I mean, and at the end of this demo. All right, so hope you are getting that. So we will cover some 100 plus hours on this. Okay, now let us move to deep learning, right? Deep learning definition, it is about neural networks. Generative AI, you already know, it is all about creating the new content. And agentic AI are autonomous systems, so they act on their own. Okay, you just have to interfere with that particular system once, and it is going to take decision and perform any kind of action on its own. Okay, so that is nothing but agentic AI. We will discuss much on that. Okay, so sorry. Let us firstly concentrate on how we are going to learn. I mean, even if you are not going to join this program or course, right? So this is the way how you can practice on yourself for generative AI. Okay, so this is the way. Just let me give you some good understanding. So Python is the most important and the programming language required for generative AI. Okay, because generative AI models are built using Python code only. Okay, mostly 95, more than 95% currently, more than 95% generative AI models are built on Python code itself. Why? Because um, Python has provided some most comprehensive set of AI and ML libraries. Okay, to make things easy for building any AI application. All right. So from loading libraries to deploying generative AI apps, Python is a very essential step, the first step. Okay, and if you ask me what Python is providing, right, so Python provides you lots of libraries like PyTorch, right, and TensorFlow and Keras, and then Hugging Face transformers, and then LangChain framework, which is very much integrated into Python language, and OpenCV, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn, and then Glow, Word2Vec, GenSim. So all these kind of libraries are part of your Python, and this particular language is providing all these libraries readily. All right, that is the reason it has become very easy for us to build any AI application. Okay, so that is the reason you should have thorough knowledge on Python. So we are going to start our classes with Python. So whoever the audience going to attend our classes, they need not to have any prior knowledge. Okay, so zero knowledge. Okay, even if you have zero knowledge on artificial intelligence, right, you can straight away attend these classes. Why? Because we are going to start these classes with the most fundamentals, so no prerequisites. All right. Okay, so this is one thing I would like to say, and hope you understood why this Python is required. I mean, if even if you are preparing, just to have a look at these things. And one more thing I would like to say. So, based on my previous batch students, right, generative AI interviews, right? So, so they are getting some 10 to 15 calls, 10 to 15 calls mostly in a week, it seems. Okay. So nowadays people are getting at least 10 to 15 calls on generative AI. And so the type of questions people are asking nowadays is in Python, two questions are being asked. And currently, I mean, the technical questions, right? And then they are moving to generative AI questions, it seems. So if you do not clear the Python questions itself, they are going to throw you out. Okay. So that important is Python. Okay. And we are going to provide the Python classes in a very comprehensive manner. All right. Covering all of the libraries. So let us show you that course curriculum if required. So kindly get this course curriculum from your admin. Okay. So you'll get some good idea on that libraries, and hope you can see. So we are covering this in a very, very detailed manner. Okay. So that is the thing. Now, so hope you understood why Python provides readily the libraries, okay, for performing the AI, building AI applications and deploying AI applications. Okay. And then maths and statistics. Yesterday also there was a question. So if I do not have any maths background, am I able to understand the concept of AI? So just to keep this doubts aside. Okay. Why? Because of course, whatever the doubt you are having, it is valid. Okay, there is no doubt about it. AI requires understanding on maths. But the thing here is that you will never put a pen and a paper just beside you for making any kind of calculations. All right. Every library, whatever you are having, like a NumPy, TensorFlow, and Keras, TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, NumPy. So whatever the libraries you are having, right? So they will be carrying out the calculations. Okay. You need not to do any calculations. You need not to put a pen and a paper beside you, even for working as a generative AI engineer, right? You need not to put any calculator beside you. All right. The TensorFlow and Keras will make all the calculations. Why? Why? The thing here is that AI means millions of calculations will be happening inside. Let us say some 21 power 102675 into some 3026 into 1798. So if you ask me this particular calculation, for me it takes around a month of time to make it precise. All right. So it might take 1 month of time. However, it takes a lot of time. Okay. So we won't be making any kind of calculations like this as part of our job at all. Your TensorFlow and Keras, whatever you're having, right? So those libraries itself will do all of the calculations within seconds. Okay. So if you have a system that calculates within seconds, why do you have to perform manually? Okay. But you should understand what is happening inside the network, right? So whether multiplication is happening, addition is happening, or any this algebraic form of calculations are happening, so that we do not know, right? So just to have that basic knowledge, you will have to learn mathematics and statistics. That also we will be covering. Okay. So mathematics and statistics, where you learn vectors and matrices and probability status, probability basics, and of course gradient descent. So something like that you will be learning as part of this program. And whatever is required, okay, whatever is required for AI, you will be learning all of them. All right. So probability and statistics, calculus, essentials, and all right. So that is the reason you will be learning mathematics and statistics. But as a generative AI engineer, I have never calculated anything. All right. I mean, not only myself, anybody. And then machine learning essentials. Okay. So yesterday I would have told you what is machine learning. And so if machine learning is here, data, see, deep learning is over here, and generative AI is here. Okay. So let us consider machine learning as grandmother, mother, and sun. Okay, so this is how the relationship will be. Okay, whatever the deep learning you are having, right? So that has come from machine learning itself. Okay, and whatever generative AI you have, right? So that comes from deep learning. Okay, so this is how the fields are connected with each other. Okay, so for this, I'm telling you, right? So for becoming a generative engineer, you need not to have a thorough knowledge on machine learning. Okay, so currently we have lots of machine learning engineers jobs. Okay, around some 6 lakh jobs, and 6 lakh people are currently working in India as a machine learning engineer. Okay, even generative AI, right? It might exceed that count something like into 50x or 25x. Okay, so that important is generative AI today, and there is a lot of what do we call talent gap in India particularly, right? So machine learning essentials, why do we keep this is you should have some basic understanding on what this machine learning is all about. All right, so what does it this machine learning mean, and so who coined that particular term, what is the history of it, and what are all the algorithms or what are all the methods that are involved in machine learning. If you have some basic idea, it will be easy for you to transition into the next concept. All right, so that is the reason we kept machine learning essentials, but thorough knowledge on machine learning is not at all required. Of course, if you skip this part as well, just to tell you honestly, if you skip this part as well, you will understand the concept of generative AI very easily. So there won't be much connection to it, but having it will be a plus. All right. So that is the reason. And deep learning, right? So deep learning, as you know already, it is all about discussing on neural networks. Okay. So generative AI, when we talk about it, we mostly talk about the LLMs only, and the LLMs, right? They'll have some architecture, right? So that architecture is nothing but a neural network architecture. For that, you'll have to understand deep learning. So here is the point where you learn how ChatGPT how ChatGPT learned that much knowledge. Okay, so if you are asking some question to ChatGPT and all, it is able to answer very properly and correctly as well, right? And how it has learned all that knowledge. So we have to know, right, how people have given that much knowledge to ChatGPT and all. So that will be explained by the deep learning concept itself. Okay, so here you will understand how the LLM has been trained on and how it was tested. Okay, so those kind of things you'll learn in deep learning. Okay, so that is the reason we will be learning deep learning, and in a very detailed manner. And in deep learning, right, we will cover at least five projects, and I'll be providing some three projects to you as part of your practice. All right, five projects and three projects. And then we will move to this natural language processing. Okay, so natural language processing, see, one thing I would like to say, back in those days, right, we have uh, read something like computers cannot understand human language. So for that, some kind of interpreters and compilers should be there. So whatever the computer understand, it will be in some binary form like zeros and ones, something like that. Even the NLP is nothing but natural language processing, where we will discuss about natural language understanding. I mean, how a computer can understand our human language, and how a computer can generate the human language. So these two things you will learn in natural language processing. All right. So whatever the text you are having, how are you? How are you? So this question, right? Computer cannot understand that. All right, so it has to be converted to some numerical form, and how that numerical form is getting created, right? How it is going to get created, and what are all the methods we have, which makes that which makes this vectors and all. So that will be explained as part of your natural language processing. Okay, so how are you is being represented like this, as simple as that. Okay, but how? So that is what you're going to learn in natural language processing. All right. So here we usually split up the syllabus into three eras. So classical, deep learning NLP, and modern NLP. All right. So classical NLP is something from 1950s to 2010s, how computers were understanding the language. And then 2010s to 2017s. So this is deep learning NLP, right? So how computers have understood the human language, and from 2017 to current, right, present. So how computers have understood the human language. So like these three eras. So this is modern NLP, and this is deep learning NLP, and this is classical NLP. All right. So this is how we usually divide the syllabus, and we will learn it. Okay. So that you will get some basic idea on how things were happening. Okay. So I mean the sequentially, what is the history and all, you will be understanding that. And then finally, of course, here you will have some sequence to sequence models. I did not keep each topic here. Okay. So if you need some uh, topic by topic, what is involved, I mean, as part of this program, you can go through the this curriculum. All right. So kindly go through that, and you will get some good understanding on that. Sequence to sequence models you will be learning over there. Okay. And then transformers and attention, which is the most important concept which has come in some 2017, which changed the way that we look at AI. Okay. Till 2017, right, we know what artificial intelligence can do. I mean, for example, this spam detection in the Gmail. Okay. I mean, the spam emails and all will be segregated and will be placed in the spam folders, right? And of course, the promotions or whatever, they'll be segregated. And of course, the Google Maps or face detection. So those kind of applications were there. However, you never heard about any like image generation or the voice mode you are having currently. I mean, the Chat GPT voice assistant or Amazon Echo or this any of the voice assistants you are having, the Siri and all. So they were there, but nowadays the technology has um, evolved brilliantly. Okay. And all that evolution started from 2017 with the invention of transformers. Okay. So that will be the next concept that we are going to learn. And whatever the LLMs you are having, like in chat gpt, why I'm taking chat gpt as an example is because we are using this application every day in our day-to-day life. That's the reason I'm taking up this chat gpt. So if you do not like this, right, we can go for Gemini as well. All right. So whatever maybe the LLM you are going to consider here, so every LLM will have some architecture inside, and that architecture is nothing but transformers. Okay. So that is the reason we will learn about it. And then finally, once you learn about the architecture of large language models, you will be learning about what those large language models are. Okay. So why do we call this LLM? Why it is a large language model, and what are all the types of large language models we have, and how these things are evolved. Okay. And what are the open source models? Open source models means, so some of the LLMs are given for free. All right. So if you are using this deep seek, it is some free of cost, right? Even you can create an application with a DeepSeek, and even with a Gemini as well. Okay. Gemini, you can create an application with Mistral, Falcon, etc. Okay. And closed source models also there. So which are like you have to pay the money. Okay. So these are all paid models, these are free models. All right. Paid models and free models. So paid models means, like the chat GPT as well, the GPT is whatever you're having, the 4.5 to 5, right? And then Claude, so Sonnet 3.5, Sonnet 4, Opus 3.1, Opus 4, right? And also so Grok, like that. Even here in open source models, you can keep Llama as well. Okay, which is provided by Meta, Facebook company. Okay. So you have open source model, closed source models, that you will be learning everything over here. Okay. So you will get understanding what are these LLMs, and what are the types of LLMs, what are those, right? So those kind of things. So once you learn about what are LLMs, now, right, it is your job to build an application with the LLM. Am I right? Application means creating the chatbot. Creating the chatbot can be an application of LLM, right? So that's what you are going to learn. So for creation of LLMs, right, creation of applications, what is required? Some kind of frameworks are required. some kind of frameworks are required. So that frameworks can be some lang chain framework, right? And then llama index framework, or any kind of a frameworks you might be having. So those frameworks will be used for creating the applications. Okay, so that is what we are going to learn in this particular module as well. Okay, how to build the applications. So this is the point where you'll be creating some 10 to 15 chatbots. Okay, 10 to 15 different chatbots using Streamlit, Gradio, right? So those kind of open source front end applications. All right, so langchain. Okay, so once you learn about building the application with LLM, that won't be enough, right? You have to optimize the performance of that particular chatbot, or optimize the performance of LLM. Okay, so that will also be there. So here you will be learning about how can you optimize this LLM. Okay, so how can you improvise the performance of the answer that LLM is providing. Okay, so for that you have RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and for that you have fine tuning. So how can you fine tune an LLM? And also you have the prompt engineering. Okay, so all these three will be discussed. Okay, along with the practical examples. Okay, along with the practical projects. Okay, so that is what we are going to look at over here. All right, right. So hope you got some basic idea on that. And then once you create an application with the RAG, right, you again want to improve the performance of that particular application. So you will be asking, how alternatively can I build an application with the same RAG functionality? So that is the time you will be getting this llama index. So don't get confused on these things. Okay, so all these things we are going to cover in detail in our classes. So there you will be getting some good idea. Of course, explaining all these things is also might confuse you at this point of time, because you might have not even heard about this llama index, RAG, etc. Okay, so but if you have some basic idea, right, you can simply connect it to these concepts. And one thing I would like to say, who are frightening, who are little bit scared about these words, langchain, llama index, and RAG. So just let me tell you, these concepts are very easy. Okay, I mean, generative AI is very easy. Generative AI is very easy, right? But you will have to put some time. Okay, so we have tried our level best to simplify the concepts, and we have articulated the course in a very good manner. Even a very beginner, right, so they can understand the concepts and all right, I mean, very easily. But again, it depends on you as well. After the completion of course, or after the completion of each and every class, if you go through the recording, or if you go through the whatever mm, the notes that I'll be providing. Okay, so if you go through that, you will be connected to the concepts, how the previous concept is connected to the next. Okay, so that connection will be there. And just to tell you, within after the completion of this course, immediately you can apply for the interview. Okay, I mean, apply for any kind of jobs. All right, and then we will be discussing on prompt engineering and fine tuning. So fine tuning, right, we will be taking up some 1 billion, or some 1 billion to 3 billion parameter model, and we will be fine tuning it. Okay, so that part we will be looking at. And prompt engineering also, you will have some 4 to 5 hours of classes on prompt engineering. Okay, so finally we will have this agentic AI, and where you will be learning what these autonomous systems are, or and we will be introducing on these autonomous systems. Sorry, autonomous systems from the agents topic in LangChain itself. Agents topic in LangChain itself, right? You will understand what are these autonomous systems and all right. So from there we will slowly move towards the agentic AI, where you will get some very good understanding, and this is the syllabus that we are going to cover. Right, and once we are done with that as well, finally we will look at the capstone projects, right? Capstone projects, where we will have, where we will do on AWS and sorry, I'm little unwell, so I have some suffering with cold and fever. So that's the reason I'm just adjusting my voice. Kindly don't mind on that. So AWS and GCP. So these two cloud platforms that we are going to see, and we are going to do capstone projects on them. Okay, so one is on this e-commerce, and one is on some healthcare, right? So these kind of applications we are going to build. Okay, so using the this AWS and GCP. All right, so this is our curriculum. And I mean, so this is the way that you can learn the generative AI. Okay, and I have certain things with me, like how can you progress, how can you get the better understanding on the projects and all, but I have covered that as part of the explanation I have given over here. Okay, so let us keep this time for whatever the questions you are having. Okay, so if I'm not able to hear your questions, right, kindly put that in chat box. Okay, in the chat, and I'll be able to answer to your questions. Yes, there are certain questions. Okay, I mean, even yesterday, are you teaching how to create an LLM? Let me just answer this in a very good manner. Okay, why? Because this is a somewhat a repetitive question. Just a second, please. Yeah. LLM. See, when I say a large language model, it will be having billions of parameters. For example, if you look at the GPT-5, it has some I think, some 2 trillion parameters. 2 trillion parameters. And the OpenAI company is the company that has created this particular LLM, GPT-5. All right. They have created this LLM. Now, if you ask me how people have created this LLM, it took months of time for training that particular neural network. Okay, months of time, months. And then they have used hundreds and thousands of GPUs, hundreds and thousands of GPUs for months or years of time to create this particular LLM. Okay, so if you have that particular question with you, are we going to create this LLM? No, we will never be creating the LLM. Even myself working as a generative AI engineer, right? We have never created an LLM. Why? Because whatever the company that I'm working, they don't want to spend millions of dollars, millions of dollars on creating the LLMs. Okay. You will never create an LLM. Just keep this thing aside, but you will create some small models from the deep learning itself. Okay, so which might be having some, say, here 2 trillion parameters. If you have here, we will create the models with some 1 lakh to 5 lakh uh, parameters. All right, that is possible from our side. But for creating an LLM, right, it takes months and years of time that we will not be covering. Of course, whatever may be the program that you are going to join as part of generative AI, nobody is going to create an LLM. Okay, you will be using GPT-5 or any GPT or Gemini 2.5 Pro or DeepSeek or whatever for building the applications. Okay, so that is the answer for it, right? And we are going to look at this Hugging Face and all as part of transformers. That is part of your syllabus. You can always go through this syllabus and you will get some good understanding. Okay, so again there was a question, can I create my own basic LLM by the end of this course? Of course you will be doing that. Okay, so if you have any further questions, right, kindly put it in the chat if I'm not responding, or kindly unmute and you can ask me now.
Naveen, hello. Shubham this side. Hello, Naveen, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes,
Naveen,
please.
as a beginner, I do not have a Python knowledge. So, do you think I should have Python knowledge to learn this course? I don't think you are going to cover basics of Python, right? How to install Python, what are the basics of Python? Are you going to cover these all things?
Just let me tell that once again to you. You need not to have any prior knowledge, which means you need not to have any knowledge on generative AI or even the programming language that are dependent on generative AI. Okay, so just to keep that point straight, even Python from the very, very basics. What is Python? And how the Python has evolved. So all those kind of things also part of your course. The only requirement is you have to attend the classes. Okay. And all the other things just leave to us. We will make you understand every concept. All right. The Python itself from the very, very basics we are going to create.
Naveen, one more question. Uh, are we covering how to create agents and how two agents can communicate to each other?
Yes, we are going to provide sample resumes to you. Okay, so just leave that thing to us. Okay, interview questions and sample resumes will be provided, and of course, the previous batch students' interview questions will also be provided at the end of this course to you. Okay. And there is one question, are we going to cover the agents and how these multi agents will be communicated? Yes, of course, right? So this was the question people were asking in the previous demos as well. Yes, you are going to have that. It is covered as part of the syllabus. Okay, we are going to create the agent and how the multiple agents connects and all right. So that is part of your agentic AI and it will be covered. So, any questions? Any other questions we have? So, the only thing here is that you just have to attend the classes and you have to revise it before you apply for the interviews, and everything will be covered as part of this course. Okay, that is the thing. And I think you did not attend our previous. If some of you did not attend our previous class, I mean the demo class, I would like to show you how we usually simplify the concept. I mean, what kind of simulations we keep as part of this program so that it makes your understanding easy. Okay, so just let me no, not this one. Just a second, please. Mm, yeah. So I can just open large language models as well. That is fine. So sometimes it will be difficult for you to understand certain concepts, and it is quite common for everybody. So that is the reason I usually keep this kind of simulations, okay, simulations to make your understanding, okay, uh, clear and you know how things will work inside and all. So instead of explaining you for half an hour, I can just explain this particular concept in 10 minutes. Okay, in just 10 minutes, you can understand what that concept is in depth. All right, just a second, it is loading up. So how things will go, how and how internally. So how you know how this techniques, right? The regularization technique, one of the regularization techniques. So to avoid the overfitting problem of your deep learning neural network. So these kind of things, if I explain, right, it might take some time. But so that is the reason I usually keep these kind of animations for you to understand the concept better. Okay. Even not only for deep learning and LLMs. So you'll find those kind of animations in almost all of the classes. Okay. I think I sorted this spot off. Yeah, yeah. I think this gives a better construct. Natural language processing. So we will keep certain animations like this. So how this those things. I mean, this is a word embedding a cosine similarity concept. Okay, so this is part of your NLP. So here you will be understanding how internally the relation between the words will be happening. Okay, so if I say that there will be an angle between the words, something like that verbally, you may not understand it. So that is the reason whenever I get some free time, right, I make this kind of simulations. Okay, so this will make your understanding very easy. Okay, so that is what I would like to say. Yeah, kindly go with your questions. Okay, so these are all quite same, I mean, as part of the previous demo session as well. So if you are not able to find the previous recording, kindly check with the admin. Okay. And they would have provided the contact details with you. Kindly check with the admin. They'll provide the previous recording to you. Okay. And then do we have any other questions? We have some 5 minutes of time. And as I was saying, today is the last demo session, and you'll have to enroll to the course to attend the this thing. And I would like to say one thing. Uh, there are some 12 modules as part of this course, starting from Python to Agentic or Capstone project. So the first three modules, right? Whatever you have here, Python, Python, and then you have maths and statistics, maths and stats, and then you have machine learning, right? Machine learning essentials. So these are the first three module, and then you'll have some 12 modules after that. Okay, so the first three modules will be taken up by some other faculty, and these are foundations. Just you just have to have some basic idea on it. He's I think he's in the call. I would like to ask him to introduce himself. He is Mr. Vasant. Mr. Vasant. He is currently working as a AI product manager, AI product manager, and in a Gartner company. So he has taken some 12 batches. He's a machine learning trainer. So some part-time trainer on this. So he covered some 12 to 13 batches on machine learning. So he'll be taking up the first three modules, and myself from 4 to 12. So the entire generative AI, starting from deep learning and all. starting from deep learning, NLP, and then you have the other things, right? Deep learning, NLP, and sequence to sequence models, transformers, LLMs, applications, building applications on LLMs, and then LangChain, Llama Index, RAG, and then you have this prompt engineering, etc., right? So that and all will be taken up by myself. Okay, entire generative AI. So this is what I would like to say. And once you enroll to this course, right, you will have the regular sessions from tomorrow onwards at the same time, 9 p.m. IST. Okay, 1 hour of class, 1 hour of class, and Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. And sometimes, right, I might request you to have a class on weekends, but it is upon your availability. All right. If you say I'm not available to attend the course, right, I will not be taking up the class. If you want, I can take it. Okay, so that I'll be letting you know. But the regular classes will be from Monday to Friday. The next class will be starting from tomorrow onwards at 9 p.m. IST with a different Zoom link. So to whomever whoever paid, I mean, enroll to this course, right, they'll be getting a different Zoom link and you can attend the course. Okay, so the first three modules will be taken up by Mr. Vasant, and it will be a sequential manner. First you will learn Python, maths and statistics, machine learning, deep learning, like that. So this will be not be simultaneous. Okay, so it will be in a sequential manner, you will be learning it. All right, so that is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, thanks, Naveen. Thanks for the explanation. Hey, everybody. This is Vasant. So, like I did, Naveen already explained, I've already got close to 12 plus batches, and um, I have 8 plus years of experience. And I'm currently working as a AI product manager in Gartner's. Um, so, I'll be your instructor right from beginning of Python programming and why we are using, and after that the libraries, Python libraries. Post that, I'll be your, teaching on the maths and statistics basics, which are really required for the machine learning and generative AI, and also that machine learning fundamentals. Okay, yeah. So this is your journey, and we're from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start our journey um, right at the same time, like 9 to 10 p.m. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, Naveen, if they have any questions, we can take up in case if they have.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, right? So it is time for you to unmute and ask us. And if you do not have any other questions, you may drop off. Mm, yeah. So there is one question, and of course it is quite common. Let me just tell you. When I say 25 projects, right? The deep learning projects that we are going to cover around some 5 projects on deep learning, and also in NLP we'll be covering, and also on sequence to sequence we will be covering, etc., etc. So deep learning, whatever the projects that we are covering, right, so those are industry level projects itself. NLP as well, throughout the course you will have industry level projects only, those are not the normal projects. Okay, I mean, when I say industry level projects, you will not be having the deployment of the model each and every time. All right. The deployment of the model will be taught only only after we introduce you to the LLMs. Okay. But deep learning, how to create the model, how to train the model, how to test the model, how to split the data, so or whatever, we will be covering some 5 projects. So these 5 projects are already industry level projects, and whatever the competitions you are having, right, in Kaggle websites and all, machine learning engineers and data scientists will have lots of competitions. Okay, I mean, this particular company, they'll give a use case. Okay, I have this cancer data set with me, or I have this a telecom data set with me, and I'll provide that data set with you. And just tell me who are all the subscribers they will be present in the next year, and who are all the subscribers who has a chance that they might unsubscribe from the service. Okay, so these kind of requirements your client will be providing, or even Kaggle website a company will be providing. Okay, so the same data sets we will be taking up, and we will be building the model, we'll be seeing the accuracy, we'll be testing the model. So something like that. Okay, so it is not like I'll be preparing the data set and I'll create the project. So whatever the data sets people are already using as part of their job, we will be taking up the same data sets and we'll do the project. All right, so again in these LLMs as well. So I just created certain slides. Of course, it is still in progress. Okay, so how do we have to create the chatbot? And if people are going to ask a question on certain scenario, like how do you implement the memory and all, what should you take? Okay, so how do you have to implement it, right? So those kind of things will be discussed, and these are all kind of applications or things that you usually see as part of your real time job. All right, so these are not something that I have created. Okay, so the one thing is that you will not see deployment for each and every project. You will only see deployment for the projects only after LLM. If I introduce you to the LLMs, there you will be seeing the deployment, how to do and all. But the other things we will concentrate more on development. All right, it is very important, so we will concentrate on development instead of deployment. After starting this LLM, we will be concentrating on deployment as well. Okay, so that is the answer. So 25 projects, they mainly concentrate on development, and the last capstone project will let you understand the real time scenario. Okay, so people, the client, right? So the client might be coming up with some use case, and for that use case, what are all the services you have to work, and from the beginning of the project, so what are all the details he'll be providing, and how should we perform till the end. Okay, so that kind of information will be provided by the capstone projects. And the other project that we are mentioning, right? So they completely help you on development of the code or development of the project for that use case. Yes. So this is one question as part of the syllabus, like how many days this Python, mathematics, statistics, and machine learning will be, and when we are going to start the deep learning, from when? Okay, so it depends. Okay, so we have added couple of modules in machine learning for this batch. Why? Because the questions that are being asked nowadays are also involving some concepts that were not part of the previous batches, and they were added. Okay, so here let us say some 14 to 15 hours of classes on Python, and then maths and statistics maybe some 3 to 4, and machine learning basics, right? So it might be some 8 to 10. Okay, so this is how the number of classes are segregated. All right, yeah. Okay, so if you do not have any questions, right, we can wind up the session. You can check with the admin and he'll be providing the payment link to you or enrollment link to you. Or if you have any questions, right, you can stay in the call, and for the next some 5 to 10 minutes, we will be in the call and we can discuss on that. Mm-hmm. As part of the other batches as well. So the first question people ask is that should I spend some amount or should I need some supercomputer with me for running this artificial intelligence projects or whatever? All right. So the simple answer to that is it is not required. Okay. You need not to buy any supercomputer to run the algorithms. We can just use Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook for that. Okay. Jupyter Notebook for that. And of course, if you are subscribed to the AWS or GCP account, you can straight away use those services in VS Code as well. You'll have to integrate that with the cloud. All right. So this is one thing. So this is the question. I hope you understand. These are GPUs and all. You can get them for free as part of this Google Colab and Jupyter Notebook as well. Internally, they'll run. All right. So the virtual environment is readily available and it is free of cost. Free of cost. Okay. So this is one question. And the next question is like AWS and GCP. When we say that we are going to do some capstone projects and all, so does it mean are we going to provide our email ID? I mean, the institute is going to provide the email ID, uh, and you can start using this email ID for using the services available in this cloud. Okay, institute will not be providing the email ID for you. Why? Because AWS and GCP cloud, right? So AWS they will simply provide some 6 months, 6 months free access to those services. Okay, you will have some credits and you can use them for 6 months. And GCP for 3 months you can use the services for free. Okay, and these are enough for building any project. And let us say you are not able to complete your practice within this time, 6 months or 3 months, you can again use your credit card to open again one more account, any other credit card, and open one more account, and again they'll provide 6 months and 3 months for free. All right. So institute will not be providing anything. I mean the mail ID and all. You can create your free account itself. Account. Yeah. I hope you got it. So it is already giving something for free. And why do you have to purchase it? You need not to. Yeah. Others, if you have no questions, right? Kindly drop off. Okay. So do we see any questions? I mean, in the chat or wherever. Okay. Then do we people? Yeah. So if you do not have any questions, right, it is time for us to wind up the session. We will meet in tomorrow's class at the same time. However, the Zoom link is getting changed. So kindly contact our admin and they'll help you on the payment related things and all. All right. You can also check with them on the brochure as well. I mean, the course curriculum as well. They'll help you on that as well. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much.